Israel's Deputy Foreign Minister says most of the people hit by Gaza strikes, quote, deserved it because he claims they were armed terrorists. But Palestinian health officials and human rights activists say more than two-thirds of those killed were civilians, with almost half of them children. Israel, though, saying that ratio is lower. Well, let's talk about the consequences of this eight-day offensive a bit more now and go live and talk to the spokesperson for Israel's Foreign Ministry, Ilana Stein. Stein, good evening to you. Thanks for being with us. Your colleague Danny Ayalon, as I just said there, says, I quote, the people hit by Gaza strikes deserved it because they were armed terrorists. Have you got any comment on that?
Well, as you know, Hamas is a terrorist group and they were brought about to power in elections. I don't say that civilians deserve to die or deserve to get hurt, but this is what their own elected government is doing to them. They shot rockets at Israel for no apparent reason. We withdrew from Gaza. So it is a question that the Palestinians have to ask themselves. Why is Hamas doing this? What is the aim? What is the goal? Why are they bringing destruction to the people? Why bring death?
But there has been a huge loss of Palestinian civilians, though, hasn't there, in this attempt to defend Israel's own citizens?
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I was saying there's been a huge loss of Palestinian civilians in Israel's attempt to defend its own citizens, though. You can't argue with that, can you?
Well, as you know, Israel did the utmost possible not to hurt the civilians. What we did is we pinpointed our operation just to the terrorist leaders and to their ammunition. But I do agree that there were once in a while there were civilian casualties, and we feel very bad about it. But as you know, this is not an easy operation. No military operation is, but by any international standard, the collateral damage here is pretty minimal. The amounts of civilians who died, it's hard to say it this way, it sounds very bad, but it could have been much, much worse if we weren't so surgical and if our pilots were not given instructions to be very, very precise and to aim especially at the military terrorist leaders.
So as we stand now tonight, the ceasefire is still in place, but I guess the big question is, has the main goal of the offensive to prevent further Hamas attacks actually been achieved? Do you really believe in your heart there'll be no shelling towards Israel anymore?
Well, we agreed to this understanding because we want peace for our region and for the people of Israel, so we had to reach it in some way. We tried to prevent this operation in the first place by going through all different diplomatic channels. As you know, it didn't succeed. We also went to the Security Council and that didn't succeed. Now, after this operation, we did reach some kind of understanding, and Egypt is the one responsible to enforce it, and we hope that this will take place. We are doing the maximum we can to restrain ourselves. We're not doing any military operations at the moment, and we hope that we'll have peace and quiet in the region. The people here in Israel will be able to go to sleep and not run to shelters every few hours.
But what will Israel's reaction be if Hamas does send more shells into its territory in the coming days and months? We saw some of it just after this truce was announced earlier.
Well, we have other people in other countries here in the game, and it's the United States, as you know, and Egypt, and there is some kind of understanding that if it's breached, there's going to be consequences. Exactly what we're going to see, what we're going to do, we're going to see in the future, but hopefully we won't get to that. Hopefully this understanding will be respected by all sides.
Ilana Stein, Israeli Foreign Ministry spokesperson, thank you ever so much for being on RT. Appreciate it.